For 33 years, I've been practicing chiropractic and I've been using my hands and popping, and I do that still. I use now the arthrostim, and let me tell you what, I absolutely love this. I can do anywhere from just tiny little teeny impulses out to big, huge. So just depending on how intense I push into the gun allows me to adjust. So this is a patient here, Dawn, and what we're going to do is just check now. As I'm doing structural adjusting, I'm also muscle testing to determine which way we want to move that particular vertebra. So we're going to start in the sacrum. Do we need to work on the sacrum forward, backwards, forward? So we're just going to tap away at this sacrum just a little bit. Now I cock the table up a little bit. So as I get this to loosen, now I'm going to do a little drop. The table drops up or picks up like that, and I can just push directly on the sacrum now after I've loosened it a little bit. And that's how I adjust the sacrum. I can do the hip as well. So if we're working on the hip, we're getting it to loosen here a little bit, and come into it and drop. Same thing along with the vertebra. Each one of these vertebrae, we can come all the way up, just doing a tap, but I'm muscle checking, the muscle testing to see how the muscles feel, and then which ones do we need to actually come in on, so I can do a little bit stronger and get that to move. 5, 6, 4, 3, a little bit more in 3, 2, 1, good. Now go ahead and sit up, Dawn. I can work on the neck, and what I like about this as well is I can come in and adjust here and have her go through the full range of motion as I'm adjusting the vertebra. So literally we're hitting on the transverse process, the little part that sticks out to the side, and making the adjustment just by rotating her head into that. We can also work on the occiput and drop the head down a little bit, back up, so we can take through the full flexion and extension. So that works very well. And then I also do manual adjusting as well. So manually adjusting, when I use my hand, what I do here is palpate, feeling the neck, seeing which ones are not moving well. And I'm going to do a little adjustment on her for a little right here on the left. So I've palpated, you can feel that there's a muscle here, it's tight. So I'm going to take a tissue pull with my finger. So now I'm going to rotate her neck around my finger as the adjustment. And I get the end range of motion, which is right there, and then the adjustment is just a little bit. Just a teeny tiny movement. Now it looks like I'm moving the head all the way around and we're going to really crack it and whip the neck, but it's not. It's just taking and isolating that joint out so that it doesn't move. It's to the end range of motion, and then just a little bit more, just a teeny bit more, you get that vertebra to move, and that's what creates a change in the vertebra. So what happens during an adjustment, and this is just new research, is that the muscles that run along the spine, they're called the multifidus muscles, as these are being either tapped on or adjusted or moved, there's impulses coming up through the muscles and up through the nervous system, up and to the prefrontal cortex. That's right here. The prefrontal cortex is on the front part of the vertebra, part of the brain, and in here is your executive decision making. It's also the autonomic function, home of the autonomic nervous system. Remember we talked about that with the heart scan. So this is where all autonomic function means happens automatically. That would be heart and everything. That's where all that happens. So as we adjust the vertebra, we're literally changing the brain function with every adjustment. That's why you oftentimes feel better after an adjustment. So I hope that helps for you so you understand more of what an adjustment looks like.